Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome to another Guild Ball match report. Today, Aaron is bringing the Union once again, and this time he is facing my Rivet Engineers team. So we're giving his team a few different looks for opponents here. He's coming in with the same squad: Blackheart, Coin, A&G, Minx, Grace, and Rage. Meanwhile, I've got the Rivet team, so Rivet, Mainspring, Salvo, Colossus, Vet, Velocity, and Spade. This is my team that I'm holding until Fair Nomad arrives. So, and Aaron is getting more reps with this Blackheart team. He believes in the team. It's looking pretty strong. Let's see how this one goes. So, for the Union, their keys to victory, they're playing a 2-2 game. They want to focus down any strikers that I have up front, because I will have quite a few in this lineup. Extend Angie's threat and just kind of dominate the scrum there. And finally, 3, control the scrum between A&G, Rage, and Blackheart. That's some pretty good hitting power. And then don't forget you have Minx in there to hand out the snare, which is going to be so nice. For the Engineers, this is a 3-0 team, and this is where I'm a little confused sitting Ratchet out. I just don't have the hitting power, so I want to saturate my goal threats because I've got a lot of strikers in this lineup. I also want to isolate our takeout targets, so I still need to keep takeout on the board. And 3, really play that ball pressure. And then that's something Engineers are good at. We're good at picking up loose balls. We're good at, we've got good accurate kicks, good inside passing. And this team has 3 really, really good strikers. So really looking forward to this one. Let's see where things go, and let's speed up the video. So as you can see, I kicked off with Colossus and put the ball, really nice kick right up the field, and immediately regret it. Because I was like, man, if this was Salvo, who is really the better goal pressure, or Spade, who is better goal pressure, that's a goal. And I'm worried here that Colossus already might be overexposed with Aaron having the ball and just all kinds of goal pressure. So he's going to sprint up with Minx. He's going to X-toss on Colossus there, and then throw the ball back. So immediately damage and snare there on Colossus, and do a dummy activation with Mainspring. This looks like Coin, who is going to bag of coffers onto, I believe, a bag of coffers onto Rage there. I'm going to go ahead and go with Rivet, elbow grease onto Colossus, use this onto Salvo, sprint up the board, and waste an influence. So yes, I'm out of practice with Rivet. Yes, I just wasted an influence. It makes me sad. But I did get to tow a bunch of players. So you see Salvo moving up, and there goes Spade, and there goes V Velocity. So lots of movement up the board there. Rage is trying to figure out what he can do. It doesn't look like he can do anything quite yet. And so it looks like Aaron is going to go ahead and go with Grace, and I believe she puts Quickfoot onto Blackheart. So, got a little bit of a standoff forming here. I do the dumb thing. Yeah, I do the dumb thing. But it was kind of an issue with this jog. Everybody's kind of clogged up behind Colossus. I'm trying to figure out, okay, do I go in, try to get the ball? Do I go in and try to get that snack, again, without overclocked from Ratchet? I'm feeling kind of weird. I'm not sure where to go here. And I'm just handing this momentum vending machine over to Aaron. This is going to be, it's a little scary, no doubt. So I'm going to jog to try to get more momentum efficiency, and it's not the best. So I jog up and I go into Coin there. And I don't do much for damage. It's just a knockdown push, and I do a little bit of damage to Coin, but mainly I'm trying to get Coin a little bit closer so that I've got something to bounce off of, either to try to snag a ball or to just beat up for momentum. But here's the problem. Again, I've crossed the halfway line with Colossus, who is a 2-2, which is great, so he could take a hit, but there is way too much influence on the board left with A&G and Rage and Blackheart, none of which have gone. And there's just all kinds of beatdown squad there. So here comes Angie. They're going to pick up Greed, drop him off, do some thuggery, and knock me down, do a bunch of damage there to Colossus. And this is just bad already. Like, this is, this is bad. Greed is just going to jog back so that he doesn't end up being a liability. Here comes Salvo. Salvo is going to go make a play for the ball. And I do this really, really poorly. Okay, so what I end up doing is I spend 2 for the floored bolt. And so, because I'm trying to save pumped for tether if that ball goes. So the ball goes down, and it knocks Minx down, but the ball is going to scatter just absolutely perfectly to Rage. And I have had the worst, for engineers, for them being able to pick up loose balls, I just cannot get a scatter to go my way. It's very frustrating. A lot of bad random stuff on my side. And frankly, it's not reliable enough to play for. Like, you get it, great. You don't get it, well, you're in for a long afternoon. Anyway, Salvo did what he can, but again, I just used the pump to do arrow to the knees on Blackheart, which is probably a decent move. It just takes the goal pressure off, although Aaron has potentially 2 hostages now. I'm going to go ahead and hide Salvo behind Colossus there, who is already being chewed on. Greed is going to basically quick time himself up and then charge into Colossus, doing 2 attacks and quite a nice bit of damage here. In fact, well, let's see how we do. This is, you can see that health bar just wiping out. And again, without Ratchet, without that free condition clear and that momentum efficiency, things are starting to hurt. V Velocity is just going to go in. She's going to do just a couple of attacks on the snake there. Push the snake back a bit. Generate some more momentum. But there's just so much influence left on the board with Blackheart. Completely. I think he is fully clipped. I don't remember. But he's at least 5 influence in. And it looks like Blackheart's about to go. Basically slide up to Colossus there and launch a bunch of attacks. So I forgot to mention that Rage passed. He didn't quick time. He passed the ball to Blackheart to slide into position and then charge an attack. Now Blackheart is going to spike super, super hard, just like everybody else has been spiking hard on Colossus, like really, really, really nice dice all the way through. That's going to just take Colossus off the board. So I've lost Colossus in the first turn, and it's my own stupidity. I had him way into the plan here, and he didn't fit well with this team that's pretty much all strikers. It just wasn't doing too well. Meanwhile, Blackheart's going to go ahead and pass the ball, and that's going to end turn. I lost some footage there, but Aaron's going to win turn. You can see everything going there. He's going to legendary. That's going to make things even worse for me. And he is now going to start into velocity. So he's going in on velocity. Now, dice are average here. He doesn't do a whole lot of damage to velocity because of defense 5. He's not doing that well. He's hoping to call the ball here off of Minx. Because I believe he passed the ball to Minx initially, slid up, started doing attacks onto velocity, and he's just waiting for that result. There it goes. Pass goes back to Blackheart. Blackheart does not have a goal coming, so he's going to pass to Grace. He'll miss, and again, more lucky ball scatter. Luckily, she was nested up against those crates there. The ball's going to smack into the crates, and she's going to be able to snap 2. So I'm figuring, okay, I've got Spade out there on the wing, who really hasn't done much. Should I go with Spade? Should I go with Rivet? And with Colossus out of the middle of the board, I just have essentially Rivet and 3 really squishy people. So let's go with Spade, and let's get over to Grace. Looking on 5-1 defense on 5 dice, because it's tack. I go up to, tack, no, I think it was 4 dice. Anyways, I do manage to get the tackle. And I'm going to go ahead and pass the ball. Oh, and then I'm going to use controlled detonation and move Blackheart over. Pass the ball over to Rivet. Have Rivet slide over to the far side of the board. Just a little bit out of that mess there. Rage is going to go into, it looks like, Salvo, I think. And he is trying to work that out. So I can't tell if this is either Angie or Rage, but people are going into Salvo. Salvo's in trouble. He's going to have to get up and double dodge out, heal himself up. And I'm basically just going to use him, try to get him into position to be a snapshot turret for later in this turn. See if I can contain my bleeding a little bit. So here we go. A couple of shots and then swift strikes over to within 8 inches of the goal. So nice little snapshot turret there on Salvo. I think this was it's a decent recovery, but what's going to happen next is pretty rough. So yeah, that was Rage on Salvo. This is A&G on Vet Velocity, and the spike is all I gotta say. The dice spikes are crazy at this point. He's rolling something like 7 or 8 dice and wrapping on defense 5, which is just stupid. Just hang it up. It's just stupid. He spikes so hard. He gets through reanimate and wrecks V Velocity with 3, just taking 3 influence off the board. Really, really nice takeout. Should that have happened? No, it shouldn't have. No. I know you guys laugh at me for like, oh, you shouldn't complain about your dice. No, it's not my dice. It's my dice plus people spike hard on me. And Aaron, with Aaron, though, it's been both ways. I've spiked hard on him. He spiked hard on me. Today was more of a let's spike on Engineers Day. Passed the ball over to Salvo with the +1 kick. Guess what? Dice are bad. Dice are bad. I missed the shot. I missed the snap in. It was a coin toss. It was 4 dice needing a pair of 4s. So 50-50 shot, and I miss it. That's okay. That's a little bit better. It's not great, but come on, man. Come on. Anyway, Minx is going to go into Salvo there with the ball. So she picks up the ball, beats up Salvo a little bit, puts some snared on him. And then I think she passes the ball. She just kind of moves the ball in for protection, and that's going to end turn. Union up 4-0. I'm missing giant chunks of the board. We forgot to go with 2 players each. We forgot to go with... Oh, not yet. Okay. Yeah, we did forget. I forgot to bring Colossus back up the board. He forgot to go with Rage. Because we both forgot, he gets the better of this exchange. Had I known that Rage hadn't gone, had he known that Colossus would have gone, maybe I would have stayed out of charge range. But that's okay. So Rage gets to go back into Colossus, who did nothing, and wreck him a little bit more. So, again, mistakes are being made. Lots of mistakes are being made. And again, Colossus, just a huge... Colossus is fantastic. He's a great player. But against somebody like Aaron, who is very good at exploiting low defense, he's going to be a liability. So here comes Blackheart. Blackheart is... Oh, I'm sorry. That was Minx passing over to Blackheart, beating up Salvo a little bit more, and Vet Velocity. trying to do, I'm sorry, not vet velocity. Yeah, it's mostly salvo. Just wanting to beat up salvo a little bit more. I've got to go. Well, it looks like we've got a little bit more fighting back there with vet velocity and salvo. So now I'm going to go with Spade. Spade is going to go ahead and tackle the ball off of Blackheart. So good job. I mean, Spade she's doing her work. Her dice are a lot better than everybody else on the team. She's going to go ahead and place and then jog right to within 2, keeping Grace within 2 outside of 1. Going to kick a goal here, and I'm going to tie it up. So despite all of the mess I've caused, at least I'm in the game. We're looking at a tie score. I've got a goal. He's got 2 takeouts. Here comes the kick in, and Aaron is going to take advantage of a reasonably good scatter because he'll be able to shadow-like to get the ball. Then he's going to be able to jog over to Colossus once again, who is a liability, manage to score a double dodge and get out of my counterattack, kick a goal right back at me. If I hadn't taken that counter, then Blackheart could be there farming momentum. So that's the good news. I was able to take about 3 influence off the board by throwing a counterattack. Blackheart doesn't want to risk that. He wants to just put points on the board and extend his lead. So he'll go ahead and hit that kick, putting the Union up 8 to NG's 4. I'm going to kick the ball shallow this time, trying to get mainspring involved. Scatter is absolutely perfect. Lands right in mainspring's lap. And I believe I have to go with Colossus before things get too bad back there. Colossus starts to beat up Rage a little bit and knocks him down, gets into... I think I'm attacking A and G at this point. Just trying to keep things knocked down, try to control some of the scrum here with what little health Colossus has left. So this looks like it looks like A&G getting back in, doing some thuggery beatdown on poor Colossus. So, hey, be careful what you wish for, right? You want to control the scrum? Well, we're just going to knock you down and push you around quite a bit more. A&G basically had free reign because I didn't have... Colossus by himself is not good enough to control A&G. He's, this is really interesting because I played Brick in the last one, and I feel like Brick pretty much could control that scrum by himself. But Colossus, not quite. Colossus is a little bit more focused on... Well, he's a little bit more generalized. So you've got decent kick out of Colossus. You've got that knockdown push, which is great. You've got singled out, which is great. Anyways, I have to go with vet velocity here, and I've got just enough room to stay in Blackheart and tie up. I'm trying to tie up Rage so that he's not terribly he's not going to be able to just eat Colossus again. Stink is going to go ahead to bag of coffers onto Rage, who is knocked down, and it looks like I'm going with Rivet. Rivet is going to bounce off of Avarice essentially, and she didn't have much on her, but she has enough to bounce off of Avarice and then slide over to where she can be another snapshot turret. So with Salvo failing that goal last turn, I'm going to put another snapshot turret into place with Rivet. So my strikers are where I want them to be. You can see where Spade is, you can see where Salvo is, and you can see where Rivet is. And their health tracks are pretty good. You would think, like I said at the beginning with the keys to winning, that this would be a problem for Union to have all of these great kickers upfield. But Aaron's just gonna kind of work around it. He's like, well, he keeps giving me Colossus. I'm gonna keep taking Colossus with that low defense, and let's just keep picking on him. So I believe we get a little bit more here out of Salvo. So Salvo does a push dodge. We're trying to put Minx in trouble here, but there just isn't takeout pressure on that side of the board. I can put her in a bind to reduce her overall effect, but I can't threaten takeout. And not, like I was saying in the last video, not having takeout pressure on the board is pretty rough. But still, it's, a somewhat productive activation there by Salvo, just to try to keep Minx out of the main engagement there. Here comes, looks like Grace, and we did lose a little bit of footage there, but you can see where that scrum headed off. Late in the turn, Mainspring is going to come up, and he's going to launch control over to Rivet, and Rivet is going to hit the snapshot. So late in the turn, I bring the score back to 8-all, but I'm losing the momentum battle, and I have some really, really squished up players towards the middle and backfield. Those two players being Colossus and Velocity. So I can't win initiative here. I cannot win it, but I can try to mess things up a little bit. I play Seize the Initiative anyways, just to try to get a couple of dodges. Now, I play this wrong. I probably should have taken Velocity out and forced Andrew to try to go for a goal. Because he could win two ways. The bleed on Velocity has triggered Reanimate already, so he could kill Velocity and kill Colossus, or he could try to take a goal. And so, and I have my Striker cores in such great place that if he does not win on this activation, then I will win, because I can get that ball back and I can do something with it. But Aaron does the right thing. He goes ahead and goes with Rage. So Papa Rage carrying the load here, killing Velocity on the first hit, charging Colossus and taking them both out, putting the Union up 12-8. Very awesome game. Thanks everyone for watching. And yeah, we will catch you on the next one.